Oh, I gotta log back into Timeform since you all logged into mine.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Triple Clowns at Degen Nation. We're excited to bring you the final chapter of the Arlington Million. We have with
It's not the
us.
Arlington Million.
Well, not anymore. I was going to go into that, but thank you for jumping the gun there.
No,
Well,
The ever
close
interrupting
enough.
G. Randall Johnson is always with us.
I don't interrupt that much.
Of course. And then the beautiful.
Nah, you never interrupt ever.
No. Oh, okay.
Neither
all
do
Not at
I.
all.
It's fine.
right.
And yeah,
Oh, okay.
Oh, AJ Ryder, Dennis Trusty.
Yeah.
Dennis, what's up, buddy? We have you on. You were always on the show. Well, you're always here joining us. You know your horses, and this is, for everybody out there, we do things for the people here. We do. We don't just say it either. We do. We're trying to do it
We
for the
do.
people. We bring the people on. He knows as much as, if not more than, a lot of these professional guys out there. And I will say you're professional, Dennis. So I don't
at
know how
this
that
point,
constitutes
yeah.
professional.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, he's got Trusty in his name. I trust him.
So yeah, you can obviously trust him. And Dennis does a good breakdown of certain cards every day. If you follow him on Twitter, he just tweeted out this morning a breakdown of the Saratoga card for today. He does a really we follow him. We met him through the Pub Sports guys. Really great insight of horse racing. He's really interesting. So definitely check him out on Twitter and see what he has to say about the tracks every day.
And
Automatically, I could say y'all are much better looking than the Pub Sports Radio guys besides Ed. So
Oh, we knew that.
That's why we brought you on.
We've been on there before. We know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only reason we go on there, actually, is to make
Yeah.
ourselves feel better about ourselves.
Exactly.
Just kidding, everybody at Pub Sports.
No.
No, it is true. And we always do say, Dennis, and we are very cocky about the fact that we say we are the best looking show in horse racing.
Have we ever said that before?
I say it all the time. You never heard me?
It's
Joking.
because
I do say it joking.
I'm on the show, obviously.
Okay. Anyway, let's get to the races before
All
people
right.
are disgusted by our.
Yes.
But welcome, Dennis.
Yes, welcome, Dennis. Thanks for jumping on our show.
thank you for having me.
And we're excited. Like I mentioned earlier, it's the final chapter of the Arlington Million. Yes, it's no longer called the Arlington Million anymore. This is the first year it's going to be the Mr. D, which is named after Arlington's chairman emeritus, Richard, who's turning 100 this fall. And unfortunately, the purse, due to the struggle of Illinois racing, has dropped from $1 million down to $600,000. So, but this is the final chapter of what was the Arlington Million.
Is that why they changed the name? Because they didn't have $1 million anymore.
Well, we can't call it the Arlington Million. It's not a million.
Arlington
right?
Million for
the Arlington
600,000.
600K.
If the Pat Day Mile was like 6 furlongs, it'd be weird. I mean, let's just face it.
The Pat Day Mile.
Well,
We're gonna
I
run it
think
at a
they're
mile
going-
and a quarter this year.
I think they was meaning by that they was going to run for $1 million more a year. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. They're just
Yeah.
like, well, now they could. I mean, because it would be stupid if it was the Arlington 650,000. That would
It
just
would.
sound
That
weird.
would just
would.
sound weird, yeah. And unfortunately, Arlington's future after this.
So now they
season
call it
is
like
up
what
in air.
the Big D?
Mr. D.
Oh,
The Big D,
We're not gonna call it the Big D.
I thought it was the Big
the
D.
better name. The Big D.
It is. It is.
After I said that, I actually was like, oh, that's
Yeah,
probably not what the
they're
name
not calling
was.
it the Big D. The Big
I
D
guess
state.
another thing too is all the major stakes races have D in it. So
Yeah, the Beverly D.
It's
It's-
yeah, it's Big D
it's a
Stakes
big-
Day.
Yeah.
The Big D Stakes Day at Arlington
I don't
on
know when they're going to
Saturday.
get a Randy because they run. That would be
Oh,
good,
Jesus.
I think.
Well, you just
Like,
Like
killed
we had
it.
good banter going about that, and then you fucked it up.
I
yeah, well,
know,
that's
I
what I do
know.
because I
Like,
want
you
to. That's
really
my
did.
Buzzkill.
that's my transition. Because I do want to go into it because Arlington Million. We look back and
Arlington
this is
600K.
the old Arlington Million.
Oh.
This is a sad thing if it's not the case. We talked about this with Mike Smith. We talked about this, remember, because he never won it
I
before.
know.
And I told him no one feels bad for him. And
Sorry, Mike.
but it is true. He never won it. And he never will because I don't know if it'll be the Arlington Million. So you go in from being, Arlington Million. This is it. This is your turf race. This is like the Derby for obviously Chad Brown. This is a big deal.
And it was
And it's gonna go away. Like
Yeah.
let's
this was the first 7-figure race.
Yeah.
That they had starting in the 80s. So
yeah. I mean that's a big deal. And
And pretty
and now
soon,
you're gonna be-
55 different losers are going to take that field where once great horses ran.
I was just about to say now the Bears are going to it. How the mighty have fallen.
What a total waste of space.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it. So it's our ode to Arlington right now, and Dennis, we'll get into that a little bit about your history with Arlington. And I know you probably like the track, but let's get into it, sir.
All right, we're going to start the late pick four for Saturday. Starts with race 7. It's the Grade 1 Beverly D Stakes. At 1 mile and 3/16 on the turf. This is for filly and mares, 3-year-olds and up.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt because I forgot we didn't address this because we were talking about it before. AJ isn't in clown makeup.
Yep,
I know
not
if you
yet.
watched last week's show because he doesn't have the makeup in yet. So he'll get it in next week, and he will.
So Mark, if you're out there watching, I fully plan to settle up on our bet.
Absolutely.
However, it takes a while to get here.
Yeah. When we don't want to go half.
He lives in the middle of nowhere. It takes a while.
We don't want to go half-ass with AJ looking like an ass. So we're gonna wait a little bit. So he will do a week, and we're gonna have more shows because we have a lot prepared.
We have a lot coming up. So
12 shows that week in AJ makeup.
Yeah.
So,
yes. So everybody out there, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned for the fun clownness that we're gonna have in the next week.
Yeah. So with that being said, anybody out there thinks that AJ's going back on his bet? He's not. He's waiting.
I'm not Kevin Kernstein, guys. I do plan to settle up on my bet.
That is true. You did make a bet publicly and never settled it. We have to say that, Kevin. But anyway, all right. So go on to race 7. I'm sorry.
All right. Like I said, the late pick 4 starts with the race 7. AJ, would you like to kick us off here?
No, but I always do, so I guess I have to. Okay, so Arlington's weird for me because I've tried to play this track before because I live in such close proximity to it, but I hate it, and because it's so hard to get a handle on. So, but these stakes races with all these other invaders kind of coming in from everywhere else because of the stakes involved, I'll play this a little bit more regularly, I guess, as opposed to just thinking that like, oh, Arlington, a 10-1 shot seems to come home every single fucking time when I play it on a regular day. I'm going to go too deep here. Mean Mary coming in. I just based off the last performance alone, you would think that, man, this horse has got to be a major contender here, as rightfully so, 9-5 with Luis Saez. That's an easy pick for me in this sequence. I think if you leave Mean Mary off the ticket, I think you're I'd love to hear your reasoning why. Other than that, I will pick one other horse just because, I play the New York tracks. I've seen this horse run twice now. An invader from Ireland. Got Flavian Pratt and Chad Brown. I can't ignore that, especially after the big effort back in May, coming in second to Harvey's Little Goyle. I have to include Lamista, if I'm saying that correct, the 4-year-old. 9 starts, 4 wins. Chad Brown, Flavian Pratt, throw that on my ticket too, especially at 5-1 if I can get a little bit of price if she can somehow pull over on Mean Mary.
All right. And if we did play a song from Insane Clown Posse, it would be
I wouldn't know what to sing.
Hocus Pocus. But I'll just say that.
Speaking of Insane Clown Posse, we should get Superhuman.
Well, since Sarah likes
Superhuman on here
and everything. Okay. So, all right. So AJ, you so you're going straight up with what did AJ say? I was
2-6.
2-6.
2-6. Yep.
All right. 2-6. All right. I'll go right into it. Dennis will leave you for last here, so you can comment on what we said.
That's fine.
I agree that I like the obviously the 2 here in this is Mean Mary, got to use Mean Mary, but here's the problem I have with Mean Mary that could be a problem. All right, so if I'm going to bet against Mean Mary, it's because of this. Mean Mary could get caught in a speed duel up front, and Mean Mary wants to lead. He's not going to go to lead. These horses, including I think they're going to send that 7 like out of the box 30-1. Why not? They're going to send the 7. And Mean Mary wants to go to the front as well. So I think if you get caught up in a speed duel, I'm going to go with. I mean, I really like Santa Barbara here, the 4. AJ loves Santa Barbara. We all know that. But
they made the Flintstones
because it's soap opera. But anyway, before Santa Barbara came home fast in the last time over here, and Ryan Moore aboard. I mean, let's face it, even though they don't have the greatest, record together here, which is odd, O'Brien and him. But I really like how this horse came home 7th to 1st. I mean, come on. I mean, second race over, that's always an angle I'll use. And I agree, Guillermo. I think Santa Barbara is the best horse in this race. I think it's better than Mean Mary, and I think Mean Mary's going to get caught in a speed duel. And the other one I would use here to beat Mean Mary, because I'm going to try to beat Mean Mary here. So I'm going to play 4-6. Lamista that AJ talked about, I guess, earlier, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think if this horse returns to what this horse was overseas, I think this horse is really good. And I think it'll be in a very good position, better position than probably the 4 to stalk that early speed. So I'm going to try to beat Mean Mary here, and which means I could be out in the first race. I mean, I probably play 2-4-6 if I had the money at the time, but I'm going to try to beat him and go 4-6.
4-6. Okay.
All Randall Johnson coming in and saying he doesn't have the money.
I don't.
Yeah. All right. Well, I went 3 deep, but looking back at my notes, I don't know why I picked one of these horses, to be honest with you. I am taking Mean Mary. I think it's a horse you can't really leave off your ticket. I know Randy's going to try to play against Mean Mary, but I don't know if he can. I really don't know if he can here. But the 2 other horses I picked, and like I said, now looking back at my notes, I'm not too 100% with these because I would want the 4 over really any of these. But I did the 3-5 here. Now, they have raced against each other in their last time out at Arlington in the grade 3 there. Now, the 5 did win that race. It was a really close race. He won it by half a length. But he's won at this distance. The 3, I think, is kind of interesting because he's jumping up to a grade 1 here, which I'm interested to see how this horse is going to be performing because it seems like they're really just trying to find where this horse is going to compete at. And he's been performing at high allowance races and graded stakes races. Speed-wise, I think he might be all right. I just see him kind of stalking the leader here. So I'm taking my chance there. The 3 at 8-1 is going to give you a price. I know the 5 is 9-2, but those are the 3 I went. Like I said, now looking back at my notes, I'm really questioning why I left the 4 off.
Everybody here is questioning why you left the 4
yeah,
off.
I have no idea.
In 2 races, I'll tell you why you left the 4 off.
Okay.
I went 2-3-5.
For me, this race, I thought the race to 2 horse was going to get the lead, and that's where a lot of the problem lied. The 5 I thought was the one that could challenge. Randy, you brought an interesting point about the 7 just sending, which I didn't think about that, which that's the only way the horse even could be remotely close. So good point on that. But I see it as the 2 horse having a lone lead, and then I was torn between the 4 and the 6. And I didn't like the 6 horses last race. I know Chad Brown showed out last year on this card, or well, was it last year with Bricks and Mortar, or was it 2
No,
years
2 years ago. They didn't have the race last year.
Okay, 2 years ago. Sorry, last time they had it. But he showed out and won a bunch of races up there, so that kind of worried me. But I went with the 4. That one race here in the United States was more impressive than the 2 races the 6 has had here, so I just went with 2-4 to start off the sequence for me.
2-4. Dennis going out on a limb here at 2-4.
I know I'm really reaching for it.
No, but I get what you're saying. And the 5 did win by 20 lengths at one point. I always look at that and be like, wow, I don't know why. You could win like a $5,000 race, and if you win by 20, I'm impressed. Oddly enough, with 9 horses in the field. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one, and that'll be fun. So we're obviously mostly on this. Obviously, the 2 here. That's the kind of our common thing. Besides me. And like I said, most likely I'll play 2-4-6 in the sequence. But yeah, I mean, everybody's got a shot.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens around that first turn. I mean, that's going to be
a
big thing. And if speed, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you have to love Mean Mary too, training at 1 mile and 7 furlongs prior to this race.
Yeah.
Mean Mary. She's
come on.
Yeah.
She's a good horse. I mean,
it's a really good horse. Yeah. All right, let's move on to race 8, which is the grade 1 Bruce D Stakes. We got 1 mile on the turf, 300,000 at stake. This is for 3-year-olds. AJ, who do you like here?
The big Bruce D. I went over this kind of quickly because two horses kind of stuck out to me, and I contemplated also throwing the 6 in there, but I ended up leaving it off. I might throw come race day if I've got an extra couple bucks, I'll throw the 6 in too, with Luis Saez. But Tango, the Cisterson horse just looks too good, especially having won a race here at Arlington. Coming into this one gives me a little bit of confidence. This 3-year-old continues to improve and look very good. Is on a track, obviously, it's comfortable with on this turf and running that massive number. It could break out and just run even better. But obviously, I didn't go super deep in the first one. I need to get a little bit more of a price, hopefully. So I did throw in the 1 as well. This horse at 3 years old, 8 starts, 2 wins, 2 places in 1 show, has run massive numbers. If it can transition to the turf, then I think this horse is a big threat here. Not a lot to say. This distance it's definitely in its wheelhouse. But this horse has run against the likes of Jackie's Warrior and Sitting on Go, all horses we've talked about for a long time. So I think competition-wise, it's faced just as good, if not better, than what it's going to see here. It's just a big question of whether or not the turf in a grade 1, if it's going to be able to make that transition. Again, I'm going to go 1, 2, the 6 maybe, but I'm confident in the 1 and 2.
All right, 1, 2. I actually have 1 and 2 as well, AJ, and a lot of points you hit. The 2 I do think could be, if in my sequence here, I think the 2 could be like an odd single, but the 1 does scare me, and I do think you have to watch if speed is holding up on that day. If speed's holding up on that day, that 1 is a great play. Which also could mean my other horse that if I'm going to use 3 here, which like I said, I could kind of would almost single the 2 or go 1, 2. But if I went 3 deep, I would really probably go with the 8 here. Because I think the 8, King of Miami.
King of Miami, yeah.
Yeah. Even though let's throw out, okay, Tango beat the hell out of him right there last race. But let's throw that out for a second. This horse can run, and this horse could be near the front once again. And I think that's a good spot. So if the 2 has a bad trip, but the 2 is much the best horse. I'll probably go 1, 2, 8 for fun here. And what else did I have? I think the 8 could be a tiny bit short, King of Miami, honestly. But we'll see. Gets loose, and I do think the 1's going to beat this horse at the turn. So I don't think the 8 needs the lead, but they're going to pretty much battle it out, which kind of sets up for the 2. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 8. I see there, Jay, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah. This is a wide open race. This is one that you could go wherever. But I do think the 2 is just the best horse in the race here. And if he won by 6, would anybody be surprised?
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody would be surprised. I agree. I went 2 deep here. Obviously taking the 2 as well. I think enough's been said about this horse. But I also, AJ said he was going to mention it, and he didn't. If he's going to play it, but I like the 6.
No.
Point me by with Saez in the iron. He had a tough race there at Saratoga, which was just kind of a jumble, anyways, at the wire. But I think this horse is kind of he's showing some good turf speed. He's coming he's coming to Arlington. The way this horse has been working out and been racing, I think this is a really good competitor here for this field. I believe if there's any kind of speed duel up front, it's just going to set the lead for the 2, obviously, but I think the 6 is going to be right there behind it.
For me, this race, you're all on the 2, right?
Yep.
I do not have the 2 at all.
Yeah, go
There you go.
Yeah. So, and the reason why is there's 2 reasons. One, an obvious one. If it runs Me Mary, the 2, Tango, and domestic spending, you could go on the last leg and, it wouldn't pay nothing. But number 2 is whenever I see the prep days, meaning the prep days for these days. It's a prove yourself race. The horse was a maiden coming in. He proved himself, but how many of those horses was just using that as a stepping stool for today? So I went 1-4. And I think the 4 is interesting, breaking its maiden from Ellis Park. I don't know. I know we didn't talk about that horse. That was like my really last horse in. I used a 6. I know that's the chalkiest one I have here. I think that horse actually might go off favorite. I took the 8, and I also like the 9. The 9's best race was on the turf by far. Ran second with Ortiz on at Belmont in a stakes race. So that's
Like
it for
a
me.
salt
That
shaker.
race.
All right. Yeah. You know what's funny, Dennis, that I have to say, the 2, I hear where you're coming from when you said that, but then I looked at the 2's trainer that makes this move, and it's actually a big move for this trainer. He's actually very good at it. That move from the maiden win to put him in a good spot. It's actually really good at that move. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to bring it up with the 2, but because I hear what you're saying, but it's a weird thing with this trainer is really good at that. Break your maiden, then put them in a spot, like a good spot. And they usually run pretty well, which is unlike most horses and trainers. So it is, but it's interesting. So Dennis, we were almost picking on you about taking the chalk, fades the chalk. And he goes,
Pretty good.
I was loving every second of that as you were saying, well, take the chalk going out on a limb there. Oh yeah, you'll see next race.
Oh yeah,
You'll
you had a bullet in the gun. You were just waiting. I got you.
I mean, he's just coming off of hitting a 30-1 shot last night.
Yeah, I didn't hit it. I said that was the long shot in the race, and of course I had to take the 2-5 favorite in Exacta that ran third. So yeah, that was not good, but I did give it out. I said it was the long shot of the race. So
listen, I love it. No one wants to hear us talk about the favorites all the time.
I want to say this about your 9 too. It is because I obviously seen that, as everyone probably did. But that 2-year-old race that it ran at Belmont, I just hate everyone who was. I don't like Step Dancer. I don't like Space Launch. Neither of them have really gone on to be like super great.
Yeah.
So that's kind. I mean, granted, it's a different day. He's a 3-year-old now, but that race coming out of there, especially on the turf, I just didn't like. I don't know. Step Dancer's been
that's fair.
less than average,
fair.
and then Space Launch 2 has not been overly whatever. But not saying he's not matured enough to win, here today. But at 12-1 though, I mean, it's worth a shot for sure, but not what. Yeah, that was the reason I stayed away.
That wasn't that was it. Why I said I'm going to use the horse just because. Plus, Ravelli's got
for value's sake, for sure. Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, no, this will be a fun one. I mean, like I said, I hope it's not dead chalk.
And especially, like I said, I've tried to play the Spark, but I cannot because favorites got to win here like at 2%. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like if you try to play Arlington, nothing ever happens the way you think it's gonna ever.
Yeah.
I'm hoping because like we have like actual, like a all these horses coming in from other places that it might play out a little bit, but who knows?
Be a little truer to form.
It's very Saratoga-esque, where who the fuck knows?
Del Mar too, yeah.
Del Mar's the same.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on.
Yeah, let's go on to race 9, which was formerly the Arlington Million. Now it's the Grade 1 Mr. D Stakes. We got 1.25 miles on the turf, $600,000 at stake for 3-year-olds and up. AJ, who do you have?
Well, first, is the Bruce D named after Bruce Dickinson? Anybody give me the reference right away? Bruce
named after the Big D. Big D Bruce.
But you know who Bruce Dickinson is. Anybody out there, give me a saying you would say if you heard Bruce Dickinson. All right, and let's move on. See if anybody gets that reference.
Oh, I have to look it up before we do anything because it's going to bother my mind.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying now, right?
Yeah, I get you now. All right. I'm on board. Okay, so the big
you are right, Chris, but I'm going for the phrase that people would think of if they think of Bruce Dickinson. Think pop culture-ish. But yes, Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson.
All right. Can I go now?
Yep.
All right. So
There it is, Nick. Good call. More cowbell.
Joe got it too. Joe got it too.
Sarah has no clue what we're talking about still.
not even close.
Just you and apparently Joe and Nick.
Okay. So first thing I'm going to do. Can you guys guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to toss Zulu Alpha out the fucking race.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I goddamn
No.
hate that horse
Yeah.
Not
so
you. No
much.
way.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, hold on. Fun fact about Zulu Alpha. So,
He's a giant letdown. That's what he is.
Hold on. So,
Go ahead,
my
Dennis.
dad works backside, right? My dad's boss had the horse when it got claimed for 80,000. Neil Howard.
No way.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Calumet subsequently stopped having horses with Neil Howard. Wonder why.
Yeah. Well, you know what? AJ's probably would be a great move to get rid of that horse because he hates it so much.
I do.
If
That
there's two horses in this industry AJ hates the most, it's Zulu Alpha and Max Player.
No, tis the
No,
law.
Oh,
tis a lot.
too.
It's 3 horses.
3
that I
horses.
cannot stand when I see them. Yeah, Zulu Alpha for obvious reasons. If you don't know, go back and watch old episodes because I can't do it. Thank you, Jonathan Kinchin. No, but I am a big fan of the 3 domestic spending. That horse in that dead heat with Colonel Liam back on Derby Day was a big help to me in winning some money. So I always follow that horse, especially coming then back to Belmont, winning the Manhattan 6-5. I get it. It's got Flavian, it's got Chad. I'm gonna play it because I cannot. I mean, if you leave it off the ticket, I think you're a moron. So if anybody is not gonna play it, then and you lose, then that's your fault. I'm gonna throw in the 9 Armory at 9-2. I think 9-2 is a really good price here, and this is why I didn't play the other horse in race 7, is because Aiden O'Brien's coming over here for this horse in the main race. What was it, Santa Barbara 2 races ago? I think it's just an add-on because he's going to send horses over here. But I think if you're going to enter a horse here in this $600,000 race at Arlington, you're coming over here because you know you have a shot of winning it. So I'm not going to question Aiden O'Brien at all. I'm going to go with it, and I'm going to think that a horse that's already made $1.2 million can easily win this race. So 2 horses I cannot leave off the ticket are the 3 and the 9. The
All right,
dark
good.
horse. Okay, I'm not done yet, but all right.
It sounded like you were. You really ended it with some emphatic thing. All right,
I did, but I'm saying those are the 2 horses that I think if you're playing this sequence, you can absolutely not leave off the ticket because they both are easily can win this. If I'm going to play a dark horse, which I think in the realm of what I'm going to play in my budget, I do
Zulu
have an
Alpha.
opportunity. No. Obviously not. If I do have a dark horse that I'm going to play to try to maybe upset this field and get a price, it's going to be the 2 Glen County. I've seen this horse now a few times when we've talked about whether it be New York or Kentucky. It's been everywhere. It's been Monmouth, Churchill Downs, Aqueduct, Belmont, Kentucky Downs, Saratoga. I mean, this horse has the ability to transfer pretty much everywhere and do really well. Like this horse it's rare you see this horse lose by, I don't know, more than 4 or 5 lengths, continually get like first, second, third, anywhere it goes. So I'll throw out the Monmouth race because Monmouth is just a pile of shit of a track at the moment. I'm going to go off of the 1.5 mile it ran at Churchill and won, throwing up a massive number. I think this horse can be competitive at any track in the country, and I think at 12-1, especially given my history, knowing of what Arlington has given me as far as just big prices and you don't see the favorite show up anywhere. I think if there's any course in the country, Arlington might be the course where this course can come up with a win on a big day. So I'll take Glen Country at the 2.
All right. Good. Are you done? You're done now?
And I'm also
yeah, there we go.
gonna
Anyway. All right. Well, I want to address some of these questions real quick. I did see that, and would the pick three pay with the three favorites coming in over $10? And yes, yeah, absolutely. With all the money going on today, it'll pay at least 11.10. And I mean, so let's go with that.
Yeah.
And also, if you can't narrow it down, I mean, yes and no. I get what you're saying. Like, imagine playing against the chalk and then getting beat by, the 5 and it ruins your sequence. I mean, that sucks. Yeah, if you're going against the chalk, I mean, it's not a bad theory to play everything, but if you think it's a wide open race.
I think if the 5 wins, AJ will never be on the show again. He's going to quit horse racing.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody's. So now everyone's voting for the 5 to win. Yeah. So
I've said multiple times though, this is not a chalky court, like a track. So don't get in your mind that like it's a given that like some of these low prices are going to come in because
and to also answer the other question that just toss the race. I mean, it's a sequence though. That's why. Sure, if you're playing a double or something, but a sequence sometimes you got to throw that chalk in there and get somebody later on. So anyway, I'm going to go into it. Obviously domestic spending, the 3. Chad Brown's won the last 3 of these. If you saw, and listen, there's no bricks and mortar in this race. I was a huge bricks and mortar fan. There's no bricks and mortar in this race, but the closest thing to it would be domestic spending. What a race that domestic spending had, going to with the dead heat. And we talked about that he beat domestic spending beat a horse, Colonel Liam, got a dead heat where Colonel Liam had the perfect trip. And we said that. And that's why we faded Colonel Liam in the last one. And he did exactly what it was. Colonel Liam on a perfect trip. Domestic spending had to do it, got a dead heat, and then comes back and wins at the Manhattan. I mean, this horse is a monster. So got to play this horse. The only other one I'd play here, because I mean, really domestic spending should win this race. So, but I'll give another one because I'll play another one because like you said, we don't want to go chalk. I like Busy Channel. Busy Channel here is one of those horses that if you watch the horses, I know the horse is 5 years old, so people will say things about it, but the horse still looks green, looks anxious, looks like it wants to work. His head's all over the place when it breaks. And it's one of those, if this horse can get its head straight, it's fast and it's good and has a shot. So it's one of those, like, if you're looking for something, I think that's like waiting for a horse, but 5 years old, it just might be that kind of horse. Maybe he's just his headstrong and crazy. But if you watch the races and still really good, it can run the distance, could go to the front. I feel like we're watching this thing. The horse is almost like one of those, what they call free runners. And, one of the ones you just let go and let him run and don't try to do anything with him. And if he does get a free run and gets to the lead, I think he could be trouble and Busy Channel.
I'll say this too on the 8. His best track's Arlington by 4 or 5 starts, 4 wins.
4 for 6 lifetime at Arlington.
Yeah, he's a horse,
including the loss by a neck, so it could easily be 5 for 6.
Yeah, and he's only got 5 wins, and 4 of them are Arlington. He's a horse for the course, and I think, like I said, if they just let him loose and run and everything like that, so yeah, I mean, the trainer and jockey have a huge, number as well. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to beat domestic spending, to me, that's your best shot, and that's at 8, and you're going to give me 6 to 1 on that horse. I'll take it.
Not bad, yeah.
So I'm going to go 3, 8. 3 obviously being just the best horse in the race, and the 8 has the most potential, I think. So.
Well, I didn't do anything exciting, and then this one, I singled domestic spending. This horse can do no wrong at any track you put this horse at.
But not. What about Arlington? Can he run there?
He hasn't run at Arlington before, but
yeah.
He's won at Saratoga. He's won at Del Mar. He's won at
so
Churchill,
not any track. You don't know.
We'll find out
okay.
tomorrow.
So we can say if it wins at Arlington, this horse can run at almost any track.
Almost any.
Well, you could say that now though. Like there's no difference in what you're saying. It's never won at Lone Star. Never won at Suffolk's Down.
Suffolk Down's not even around anymore.
Never won there. So you can't say. Yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah. I don't know. This horse can do no wrong. It's hard for me not to even just single him. I love this horse. I've followed this horse. This horse, like I said, he can do no wrong. He's won at all these different tracks. Throw him to Arlington. See how he does on the turf. I think he's going to win. So I'm not going anything exciting. I just singled him in my pick.
And if something Sarah knows about it, it's spending. So Makes sense.
especially domestically.
Yes.
All right. What do you got, Dennis?
Single to 3. I mean, I if you try to beat him, I understand, but I couldn't beat him. Especially, I'm going deep. See, I seen it as me, Mary, and another horse, deep, domestic spending, and then we'll get to the last leg. But if I was going to try to beat him, there's 2 things I see that's very interesting. So the horse did not have Lasix the last 2 times. Gets Lasix today. I think they should have just left him off Lasix. Not saying that it would have helped or hurt, just preparing more for the Breeders' Cup. But number 2 is, so obviously I don't want another American horse because this is the best American horse. So obviously that leaves you 2 horses, which, I mean, come on. We all know who I think could only beat domestic spending. It's got to be Aidan O'Brien, right? Wrong. I think the only horse that can beat the domestic spending here is the 7.
Wow.
Space Traveler.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's because, I mean, look, the horse is just, he'll throw one race out every once in a while, and if it's today, then he might beat him. If it's not, well, then he'll run 9th. So,
All right. Well, we have our European guy, or international
Joe.
racing guy, Joe. I don't wonder if Joe has anything
Joe,
to say
yeah,
about
Joe, do you have
Space
any
Traveler.
insight
Let
on-
us know.
Yep.
and I'll say this too. Like I said, I'm single in domestic spending just because it just helps out my ticket completely. And if somebody beats him, I couldn't see who it is besides something crazy. So,
Well, and then
we saw Space Traveler run at Santa Anita, and I remember it ran a really good race, and I mean got beat by Uni and who else got Stormy,
Stormy.
obviously. Like yeah, I mean, so the horse disappeared for a while, and we don't know what's going on. It could be definitely has the class here.
Yeah.
I just have no idea what the hell they run over there.
You got nothing there for you. All right.
I believe that Circus Maximus is a really good horse, right? That he got beat by over
yeah,
there.
that's an Aidan O'Brien horse, I believe.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. So you're singling pretty much, but you're throwing a flyer with the 7. I like.
Yeah, I just want to hit y'all with the curve out of nowhere just to take your mind into some different direction.
Yeah. All right. So we're not that far all over the map, but a little bit. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
Go to the final leg, which is race 10, which is the Black Tie Affair Stakes, which is a mile 16th on the turf, $75,000 for 3-year-olds and up. AJ, who do you like here?
I'm going 3 deep. 2 of them are chalky. The 2 and the 4. I'll let you. I'm sure somebody else will pick one of those, and I'll let you talk about them. The one I want to talk about that I'm going 3 deep here with, because this is an Illinois bred stakes race, which means that all these horses aren't that good. So,
but if they're running against each other, what's the matter?
But exactly. So what I'm saying is, there's a horse in here that I like. That's a good price to kind of end off this sequence. And there's, like I said, there's one thing I know about Arlington, it's like who the hell knows who's going to win. But I do like this 11-year-old coming into this race, who's just, I mean, at 11 years old, comes into Arlington Park every single day and just throws up big numbers. I love it. I'm going with the 9, Kamak. I just, there's something about this horse that I look at and I'm like, you know what? Like, you can look at like another mystery and maybe get misconstrued. Maybe it's that good. You can look at Sly Knightley and maybe you're misconstrued. But this horse comes in. This is a workhorse right here, man. Just comes in, gets like 3rd every time. Is
Somebody claimed him at 11 years old. He got claimed.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I mean, there's something about this horse that it's this old. It should be retired, but it's like, nah, I ain't going nowhere. It's like Rocky in the last movie. It's
He's
like
Brett Favre on the Jets.
But god damn it, Jets. Try the Vikings.
There you go, Vikings, even better.
I mean, there's something about this horse that's still running 11 and still putting up like plus 115 time form figures. Are you shitting me? Like, come on, give this horse a chance. 12-1. Why the hell not?
And he was not claimed last race. He was claimed his last 2 races.
Yeah, two of
People
them.
want this
all 11
horse
years
still.
old.
They want this horse because they
Who
know
buys
there's
an
stuff
11-year-old
there.
unless it's for your daughter for do jumping or dressage? Why would you do that?
You look at that line, I'm just
If
like,
I went to my company and
why
I'm
do
like,
you
hey,
not want this horse? I love
hey,
it.
guys, you want to claim this 11-year-old? They'd fire me. What is wrong with you?
So give me
agree.
2, 4, and that 9 for a price for sure.
There you
Give
go.
me
AJ,
give me the old guard there. I love it.
4-9.
AJ going after the poor man's John Henry in this
Yeah.
race. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I wonder. This is a graded stakes. I wonder, besides John Henry, how many horses have won at 11? I mean, didn't John Henry win at 11? Doesn't he have the record? I think it was like 10 or 11 or 9.
I think it was
What a grade
didn't
1.
we look at it? Wasn't it 9?
Yeah, but I think it's a grade 1 at 9. I wonder
Yeah.
what a graded stakes is the oldest horse. I wonder. We should look that up because this horse could be going for a record. Because I don't know.
it's
Somebody
not-
out there
it's not
name one.
graded. It's not graded though.
Yeah,
I got you, G,
it's
don't
just
worry
a
about it.
stakes.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't even honestly look at the horse's age. I went to high school with this horse, actually. Oddly enough. And
Oh boy.
great angle, AJ. Way to bring that up. That was good. All right, so those are your picks, AJ. So we were going.
You did 2, 4, 9.
2,
Yep.
4, 9. Okay, I am going to talk about the 4. Obviously, the chalk. We'll get it out of the way, like you said. I mean, it's just he gets Pratt. This horse, obviously, if you look at all the people that have ridden him, where he's gone, what he's done, obviously they see this horse has more potential than anybody in this race. Illinois breds, I know of one that's terrible bred in Illinois, and that's it. And that's AJ Ryder. So
Yeah, you telegraphed that one.
yeah, no doubt. You set yourself up there. But I'm gonna go with the 8 as well. What is that? Richie's Go. What is it?
Richie's got game.
Richie's got game.
Richie's
I would say Godagam.
Richie's go to Gem.
Richie's Degen for the 8.
Richie's got game. But I like that horse. I think this horse has been beaten by better on turf, and we did see this, and we do know this horse that got beat by on turf is Life Is Good, and Life Is Good has turned out to be a pretty good horse and ran a good race against that.
Yeah.
And and obviously better than anybody in this field. So returning the turf, had one under its belt. Terrible race, didn't race well, all over the place, was out wide last race. Back to the turf, even though I know the synthetic and turf isn't whatever, but I think Arlington's is a lot different. But
That
So
horse
I'm gonna go
also
with
got beat by Yes This Time, who's the worst Boxing Day purchase ever. We all know.
the worst, yeah. No, actually doing, absolutely not. But in seriousness, that horse turned out to be a really good horse and ran really well against this horse that would beat this field easy. So we'll see what's up with that. So give me that at 8-1, right?
Yep.
6 to 1.
6 to 1.
Give me that one, and obviously I'll go with the 4 because it's just seems like they all think this is the best horse in the race, the most potential. And Pratt aboard, and Pratt can do no wrong at this point. So give me 4-8.
4-8. Okay. I went 3 deep here. The one horse I do want to talk about before I get into the 2 and the 4, I'm taking a horse named after Randy. The 6, Temper Tantrum, at 8-1. I think this horse, what?
You'll find out later.
No, but this horse won last time out at Arlington at a mile. It was a pretty impressive race. What kind of intrigued me are the stats here of this trainer. 100% won last start. This horse has won the last 2 starts, once on synthetic, once on the turf here. Now we're staying on the turf at a mile. I just think at 8-1, a great play there for the price, because I am playing the 2 and the 4. Now I know no one's really talked about the 2 yet. This horse is proven on both the turf and the synthetic there at Arlington. I feel like it's hard to leave off your ticket. We have a 100% trainer jockey combo we're playing with. Andy's jumping up in class. This is going to be an interesting race. I think this is a strong one for the 2. To me, it feels like it's hard for me to put him on your ticket, which is why I'm playing the 6 as well for a little bit of price. But I'm also playing the 4 here, as with everybody else. dropping back in distance, top turf figures. I feel like this is another horse that's hard not to leave off your ticket.
Yeah, and I want real quick. I want to mention that because Nick brought that up, and because I wanted to mention the fact of if we see. I mean, obviously it's going to be after the sequence, but if we see Busy Channel run well before, then obviously this is going to be a horse to look at. I don't know,
Yes.
he's going to look at him anyway, but I did want to bring that up. Or sometimes you can tell stuff like that. So.
Yep,
Yeah.
agreed. And Flavian's just traveling around the country winning races, so kind of hard.
He got beat by a length and a half to United. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right.
He's all right.
Yeah, I mean,
He's an okay horse. He
Yeah.
runs somewhat well. So I just went 3 deep. The 2, 4, and the 6 for a price at 8-1.
All right, I went for a home run here. I took a huge swing on a lot of different horses here. So I went to the 2. We already talked about that. The 4, everybody knows who the 4 is now. I used the 5 in there at 20-1 as a price, just in case. I didn't really love the horse, but I didn't think it was horrible. The 6, Temper Tantrum, when you talked about. I used the 7 just because the 7 had some speed. So I used that horse in there. The 8 as well, which you already discussed. The Old Man, I'm using the 9 a little bit too. So, but how about this? You talked about Pratt. I had to throw in Luis Saez at 15-1 in an Illinois bred race. I just had to. The horse doesn't look great. He's got speed, and I know the 7 and him went out. Well, wait, did they go out? No, they did not actually. Wow. Okay, so the 7 actually closed last time. I failed to mention that. But the 11 has speed. Luis Saez has to just ride. He could win 2 grade 1s today. Why would he be around a $75,000 race when he fly back to Saratoga? Because he wants to win. So I went deep here, and I'm going for a few prices, but I also like the 2 and the 4. I think they're going to be tough.
Ooh, you did good. So you went 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11.
Yep. I went deep.
Might as well hit the all button.
Yeah, might as well. But no, I mean, good thing about the way I structured the ticket that I have is the first leg and third leg allowed me to do that. So if I get past those 2 legs, I should be good.
Yeah, if you domestic spending and you can get one of those to connect, you got a
there's no worse
great
feeling.
ticket there.
Yeah, it's no worse feeling than having like a single in your last leg because
Yeah.
you just feel like it's just kind
Mm-hmm.
of. I mean, I know, but it's so weird because it doesn't really matter what you play. You put your single anywhere, you're gonna still hit the same sequence. But everybody always backloads their last race because you want to watch 5 horses run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Not always a great move though. You don't do that because of that. That's a bad bet. It's a bad angle to do because of that, but it's what we do.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah,
I
but
like
he's
seeing
got-
what the
he's got a
first leg, then I know if I'm done or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like to get it all done and over with quick.
Right.
And it doesn't hurt.
Especially
so
because
bad going down
did
the third
you
leg.
played against Mean Mary or you played against?
He
No,
played
I used it. I used
Yeah.
Yeah,
it.
Randy's the only
who'd you
one
play
that played
against in the
against
8? You
Mean
played
Mary.
against the 2?
Oh yeah, that was the race. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows out there, the oldest horse to win a stakes race was 19.
See, there's still hope for this horse then.
Al Jabal. It was, I think it was an Arabian. I don't know. Won a UK, won the 3 horseshoes.
Oh, well, that don't
handicap.
count.
Yeah, I know. American, I know. Yeah, you're right.
But no, there's still hope for the 9 here. Still
Yeah.
could have a long career winning races.
I used the
He
9.
has like 8
so-
years left.
Musketeer, I believe, is an old horse that won something.
Yeah.
Hey, and another good thing about the 9 is the same owner trainer of the 9 is the 4. So
There we go.
Ooh.
There we go. Something to think about. Don't count the 11-year-old out of this race. That's what we're telling everybody.
Fucking ageists.
All right, but let's go through the tickets real quick. So AJ's late pick 4, he has the 2-6 with the 1-2 with the 2-3-9 with the 2-4-9. Randy had the 4-6 with the 1-2-8 with the 3-8 with the 4-8. My late pick 4 was the 2-3-5 with the 2-6 with the 3 with the 2-4-6. And Dennis's late pick 4 was the 2-4 with the 1-4-9 with the 3 with the 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11.
10, 11, 12.
Just play all
One,
at that
two,
point.
Yeah.
Like, whoever you left out's gonna win.
Yeah, probably.
It's gonna be like 15 more bucks. Might as well.
Yeah. Just hit the all button there. But awesome. There you go. And so that's it. Dennis.
And another fun fact too is the 2 horses I think I left off are 30-1. Oh, and the 12-1 in there as well. I left off, so you might as well go all.
Yeah, he left off the 1 and the 3 in the last race.
How mad are you gonna be if you have that many going and they was pay like 50 grand a pop?
Yeah.
Old blue sky cowboy with a K comes through and just fucking wrecks it.
Right? Oh my goodness. But yes, this is they're calling it the final chapter of the Arlington Million. Yes, it's not the million anymore, but see, Mr. D Stakes, there's a lot of D Stakes races going on.
A lot of D going around on
A lot of
Saturday.
D going on at Arlington this week, and it's going to be a crazy weekend.
Dude, so much D at Arlington on Saturday.
They like the
It's
D up
crazy.
there.
They're
AJ
going to
would
talk
know.
about Chicago's D a lot whenever they demolish it and build the stadium there. So
And the Bears might be taking over the D. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the Arlington community is gonna feel like they got the D when they get the Bears.
I don't even know what to say. I did want to ask Dennis. We talked about Saez a little bit. I wonder how you feel about this because I'm one of those people that are like, I know Saez is like killing in the jockey standings. He's number 1, I think, by a lot. He's like destroying the Ortiz brothers up there and Rosario and everybody. Am I the only one that feels like he's only good on the lead? Am I the only one that feels that way?
That's a tough question. I kind of feel similar. I like him at least forwardly placed. I won't say
Exactly. He's not
but
a long lead, but yeah,
exactly.
I don't like him
kinda
coming from
agree.
behind, but yet he's really good.
I'll say this too. I've said it all along with Saez how he's been improving. It has a lot to do with jock agent McLaughlin. He knows how to talk to trainers because he was one. So I think that was a huge help as well for him.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like it's anything. It's you're sometimes a great quarterback because you're in a great system and you
And
work.
honestly, too, at Saratoga right now, closers haven't been all that effective.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't
really
been.
happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's been if you're not coming around the turn close to the front. you're
Maybe
not
why
gonna-
Rosario's struggling right now.
Yeah, Rosario sucks right now.
Yeah. He's not even good up there.
Yeah, I mean, well, it makes sense with your.
I mean,
velocity.
look at our boy David
Yeah.
Cohen. David Cohen's been him and Diodoro have been crushing it the last 2
Yeah,
weeks.
they go hot.
They've had
those
they said some big prices come through
Yeah.
like every day for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Diodoro had a horse the other day that he claimed, and it hadn't found the lead since November last year. And magically, jumping up in class, it finds the lead and wires the field at 12.
That was 12 to 1.
Oh, 15, 12,
And
15, yeah.
odds. Found his needle. That's what it was.
Hey, we can't say anything bad about Cohen at all because his mother watches our
And
show.
guess who
Shout
made a
out.
pretty penny off that David
Um,
Cohen Diodoro
Oh,
horse?
I gotta go. I said some bad things. I gotta go. I'm gonna get.
He's going to hunt you down.
I've said some bad things about. Okay, guys.
Well, don't repeat them now.
Oh wow! Shut off camera entirely.
Anyway,
And just for everyone's knowledge, Diodoro and David Cohen have a first-time starter going today, Friday, at
What race?
Saratoga, at a big price. I'd have to look at it again, but I do know I picked it for sure, just based off that alone.
I think a lot of people must be on that angle.
Yeah,
Yeah, my dad-
honestly,
yeah, my-
honestly, Time Form made it their number one choice.
Yeah, my dad caught a 30-1 shot that was those two the other day or something, like a 20-1 shot or something. That
I think it was the same one he was talking about because David's only won the 2 races in those days.
Yeah, probably. All right. So any questions out there for anybody before we go? Thank you all for watching.
Yes. And good luck this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be safe. And before we go, Arlington, is this a special place for you, Dennis? Is this somebody you grew up watching or anything like that?
No, the only fond memories I have of that are Pizza Man, and I knew Vince Greco before he got the job there as a paddock analyst. I talked to him on social media. I didn't know him personally, but yeah, other than that, looks like a great track.
Pizza Man, a lot of people's favorite. It's a popular one there. Pizza Man.
I always said they should have done a commercial with him in the Chicago area for a pizza place or something. I mean, that would just have Drew, have the trainer, and have him, and have pizza. There you go. Whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Very simple, but nobody ever did it, I don't guess.
Yeah, he was a big fan favorite. I think that was more of a because of, I think that the Midwestern people, that a lot of people are into horse racing, they never had like that.
Right.
The Pizza Man. Sarah loves the Pizza Man.
Obviously.
In general.
Anything to do with food, I'm gonna love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's named after food, I'm gonna love it. The horse, when I first got in, Randy first got me into horse racing that I followed was Mind Your Biscuits.
Mind Your Biscuits. Yeah.
Didn't do that great, but it was named Biscuits was in the title. I had to. Like now that we're with the clowns, our angle is any horse named after booze. Before I was any horse named after food.
Mm-hmm. But all right, yeah. I'm just looking at Pizza Man now because I was kind of like he must have been a gelding. He was because I'm like I never heard of him having any offspring. So
yeah, well there you go. That explains it.
Yeah, the
All right.
Pizza Man. Yep.
All right. Well, Dennis, tell everybody out there where they can find you at to get your insight.
You can find me at Dennis_Trusty on Twitter. You can find me on Pub Sports Radios Wednesdays and Thursday nights. Thank you all for having me. I appreciate it so much. It was fun, and I just hope that I can give out a winning pick 4 and hopefully it doesn't chalk out.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of pressure now. All these eyes on you from Degen Nation because they get pretty nasty, when you lose.
All right.
They're not exactly like
someone to give out a pick.
Pub Sports family.
On here.
Yeah. But no, make sure you guys check out Dennis on Twitter. Like I said earlier in the show, he gives out great insight for the cards. Like today, check out his tweet about Saratoga. He does that quite a bit where he gives really great insight on his thoughts with each race. So make sure you check that out. And from us, from the Triple Clowns at Degen Nation, good luck and
see you later, everybody.
Oh.